Okay, so we're diving into something pretty interesting today.
Yeah.
It's this clip. It's been making the rounds from this Ring of Fire YouTube video.
Yeah.
And it's got this moment from a courtroom,
Constant.
between a lawyer who's representing the government. Specifically, this is linked to the Trump administration.
Okay.
And District Judge Colleen Collar-Cotelli.
Uh-huh.
And the whole thing centers on like a really simple question from the judge.
Right.
But the lawyer's answer is what's making everyone talk about this.
I can imagine. Yeah.
So to set this up, the video explains that Judge Collar-Cotelli
Right.
is handling this case that has to do with what they call DOGE.
Doge.
Yeah, it stands for Department of Government Efficiency.
Okay.
And the case is all about like the legal side of DOGE, like what it can and can't do, and its
Authority.
authority and all that.
Makes sense.
But here's where things get a little strange.
Okay.
The video points out that there was all this mixed messaging about Elon Musk and what his role was with DOGE.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, like, was he the one calling the shots? Or did he have zero involvement?
Yeah.
It wasn't really clear.
I see.
And that leads us to the big question that the judge asks.
Okay.
So according to the transcript, the Judge Collar-Cotelli,
Right.
she just straight up asks, is there an administrator of DOGE at the present time?
So just like a very simple, factual question.
Exactly. Just wants to know who's running the show.
Makes sense.
But the lawyer's response is what's really wild.
Oh, really?
The transcript has him saying, and I quote, "I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that. Who's running the department? Hell if I know."
Wow, that's something.
Yeah, it's like he was caught completely off guard.
Right.
You'd think if you're representing a department in court, you'd have that basic info down.
You would think so, yeah.
It's kind of a legal expectation,
For sure.
When a lawyer's there for a government agency, it's assumed they've done their homework and can handle those basic questions about the agency.
You got to be able to tell the judge who's in charge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like knowing who's leading the organization.
Right.
That's like Prep 101,
Yeah.
Now, the Ring of Fire narrator, they had a pretty strong reaction to all this.
I bet.
They talk about their own background.
Yeah.
Over 20 years in the legal world,
Wow.
working in firms, interviewing these top lawyers for Trial Lawyer Hall of Fame,
Okay.
even editing Trial Lawyer magazine.
So they know their stuff.
Exactly. And they're basically saying, based on all that experience, that no competent lawyer would walk into court without being ready for that kind of question.
Yeah, you got to have the basics down.
Right. And so they see this whole thing
Yeah.
as a sign of incompetency.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they even say, and I quote, "This is a level of incompetency that, yes, we expected from this administration, but holy hell, we didn't know it was going to be this bad."
That's a pretty harsh assessment.
Yeah, but it makes you think about the bigger picture, What does it say about people representing the government
Yeah.
when they don't even seem to have the basic facts straight?
Especially in a courtroom setting.
Right, like you're there to speak for an organization.
Yeah,
You need to know what you're talking about.
for sure.
And who's calling the shots.
Makes you wonder about the whole operation.
Yeah, like if the lawyer doesn't know who's in charge, what does that say about the information flow within the department itself?
Exactly.
It's a good question to ponder.
It is.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Of course.
It's been a fascinating one.
Absolutely.